Okay, so, hey guys, welcome to the first of a new series I'm going to be making on my channel at least. Theory crafting, right? It won't be like super in-depth theory crafting, like looking into the Ars Goetia and all that, like the mythological names and all etymology of the names. I'm just going to be throwing out random crack theories about the story that is going to be apparent through multiple of these, you know, trailers. Also, the reason I didn't upload immediately after this thing was released, because it was released 14 hours ago when I'm recording at least, is because reason number one, I have a life. So like I had some things I had to take care of, and I just got home at 11 in the night. So I just started recording because I saw it twice when I was on the way to where I was going, and some things clicked. I noted it down on my mobile, but like I will tell you guys what my thought process was when I thought of this kind of theory, I guess. But yeah, I'll play through the video and I'll pause when my mind clicked and I got that like thought in my mind where it would be like this is a theory that could be possible. I have a total of 5 theories. I don't know if I'll be putting it in one video together or in 5 separate videos because I don't know how big it will get. So we'll just see about that. Anyways, just give me a second. Alright, so I had to take care of a few things, but I'm back now. Let's play through this video. I'll tell you guys where what my thought process was through this whole video, right? Okay, hold on. Let me just test what the audio is like. Hello. Okay, it's still louder. I hope that's better. And I don't want to have to record it all over again. I hope y'all can hear this. If not, just check out the
This
video.
world has always been so. Life abides no reason, for none are
This is Nefarious, obviously.
born by their own consent. Death abides no reason.
One thing I realized, well, just now, not even when I was watching it twice, the statue in Inazuma, the one that had all the visions on it, that's a statue of not Nefarious, this woman, Renova, the Shade of Death. What does the Shade of Death have to do with Inazuma? If anything, Istaroth plays a more of a role in that. Yeah, whatever.
For
We'll
it
see.
cannot be defied, even by those who see it coming. Time abides no reason, for it deprives us all equally, yet brooks not a second to be reclaimed. Space abides no reason.
Now, one thing I don't get is um Asmodee, the sustainer of heavenly principles, as she called herself in the beginning of the game, is a is the god of space or the ruler of space or the shade of space, right? How come that she was able to trap us in a cube-like thing and we didn't age a single day? Like, we didn't know we experienced 500 years, whereas our sister, in the game, on the outside, experienced those 500 years normally. I find that odd.
The ruler of space stopped the golden-haired twin travelers and mercilessly tore them apart.
This is obviously talking about Lumina and Ether being torn apart, right? Poor grandma. Ugh.
The beer. No. This looks more like Rhine-daughter's doing.
That sounds like, to me, like two souls occupying one body. We see later in the video that Rhine can hear Nibirius in her mind, but the others can't. At least I think they can. But what I'm thinking is that Nibirius's body or soul is inside Rhine body. Like she is a sinner of Conria, so I'm guessing that she has the ability to hold two souls inside her, just like how Capitano was able to ferry souls. But something is wrong in that theory, obviously, is that Rhine doesn't have the mechanical heart that Capitano had in him. So, yeah,
Please don't litter other people's spaces with your bizarre creations.
this might come in useful in later times. I'll tell you guys what that might mean.
Unsurprisingly, all life here has been rendered unstable, tainted by the ruler of space. I have seen enough to know that repeating this experiment would be fruitless.
You seem to wield my power as if it were nothing but a plaything for your amusement. Although merging with you has stripped me of agency, I shall still continue to voice my disapproval. My dear Rhine-daughter.
You have my respect, Nibirius. Your nagging is one of the only things that can get under my skin.
And you, Istaroth? Why did you bestow history upon them?
Here, why did you bestow history upon them? Now, I don't know who them implies here specifically. I have two guesses. One is a unnamed group of people somewhere else, and she's just implying this in a ongoing conversation. Or it could be the people that Renova just killed, or the grandma and her civilization that Renova just killed. That might be the most plausible theory because Istaroth can bestow history, in air quotes, upon them because, well, she is the shade of time. She can make time go faster without making the people in the civilization experience that it's going faster, I guess. But I'm guessing that here she meant the people in this world or space or whatever you want to call it.
I had to find some way to pass the time, did I not? After all, it's clear that Asmodee is not here.
Well, perhaps you could share your input a little earlier next time. But you're right. There's no trace of Asmodee here. Where has she gone? Anyway, it's time I put this space out of its misery.
Sorry, wait, hold on. This. This is the screen that I found the most interesting because it is a space-like area filled with these cubes. What we see is, hold on, 1 second, let me check how I can. what's happening. Hold on. Right. What we can see is the camera pans out of the civilization and it kind of morphs into this cube. So the idea that that gives me is that Asmodee, the ruler of space, trapped us in one of those civilizations or in one of those space cubes where time changed for us somehow. I don't know how that worked exactly because she's just the ruler of space. Ishtaroth is different. Asmodee is different. But what that does mean is all of these cubes, these little cubes around in this area, are all individual, let's call them domains of Asmodee, right? Like, she was able to craft one of those domains and trap us for 500 years. And all of these are individual domains that I got this idea like just when I first saw it. All of these are the domains that Asmodee created, and that exhausted her power. So she has gone missing and gone dormant in one of these cubes, and all three of the shades are looking for her. That's what I get at least.
These meetings are just a formality. Does it really matter that only 3 of us are here?
I, for one, think that we should find her. Since the Heavenly Principles cast us as shades, not one of us has ever missed a meeting.
What if she just switched sides? Finding her would do more harm than good.
Now there's an interesting idea. Better than being.
Now, people are saying that the switched sides line implies that Paimon is Asmodee, who has shrunk down and switched sides to the side of the traveler and is really loyal to them, as you can see through the
Devoured.
gameplay.
Just switched sides? You make it sound like such a trivial affair. We are shades, shadows of the Heavenly Principles. It's unthinkable. Unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
Renova, do you know that you're being watched?
By whom? Whose gaze could pierce this far?
This talk about, hold on, wait. So this talk about gaze and all like viewing a person or a gaze so strong that it could view a god from so far, it gives me the vibe of an Eon gazing upon us in Honkai Star Rail. I don't know if you guys know, but in HSR, that's the way that our main character gets new abilities. Like in the first story quest, we get gazed upon by Nanook, the god of destruction, and we start to follow the path of destruction. Then we get gazed upon by, I think it was, no, in the Xianzhou, we don't get anything. In Penacony, we get gazed upon by Xipe, who is the god of harmony, I believe. So that's like the gazing upon a person that gives me the vibes of HSR-esque stuff. But the thing is reversed here. The person or the mortal is gazing at the gods. But still, it strikes as similar to HSR's concept of the gaze of an eon.
I remember those eyes. It was just before I placed the curse of immortality.
He's an old acquaintance of mine.
This obviously means this is Ryan daughter speaking, and she obviously means that she knows what is his name? Piero? Yeah, Piero. She knows Piero from her time in Conria because she's
I'm
Conria
sure
to
that
begin with.
working for the Tsaritsas helped him let go of his past obsessions.
The Cryo Archon. With her paltry powers, she dares set her gaze on the heavenly principles.
The heavenly principles have yet to awaken. If I were her, I wouldn't pass on that opportunity either.
My dear Rhine daughter, you know.
See, she only addresses Ryan daughter in this scene, which gives me the vibe that she can't talk to the other shades. She can only talk to Ryan daughter,
No,
right?
I cannot allow you to think that way.
It was purely hypothetical, Nibirius.
For lack of a direct order, I say it's time we intervened. Of course, to the extent permitted by the rules.
Now, these rules, I'm confused. Are these the rules set by the sustainer of heavenly principles? Or are these the heavenly principles themselves? Because there's two options. It could be a set of rules that sustainer of heavenly principles placed on the shades before she went dormant, or it could be that the rules here are just the heavenly principles themselves, because principles are supposed to is another word for a rule, I guess.
The gaze of the gods has always been considered a blessing. Hence the origin and meaning of visions. People have always yearned for the gaze of the gods. And yet, it is said that when mortals look directly upon the gods, they invite their wrath and retribution. And what of it?
So I'm guessing here um he's talking about the shades, not the archons, because we've seen multiple times like civilians looking upon the archons with pride and joy, and uh they don't experience the wrath or anything he mentioned from the archons. So it's pretty obviously talking about the wrath of the shades of, the god or whatever
Lives will be
his or her name
lost,
is.
a nation brought to ruins. So be it. It is nothing I have not endured before. I already know the price of gazing upon the gods. So tell me, what is the price of killing a god? The god stays silent, as if the thought had never once crossed his mind. To all those who dare not look up to the heavens, Her Majesty the Tsaritsa says this. Behold, even the gods have their limits.
Okay, so now that we've watched through, I've given a few bit of my theories, air quotes. Let's see. Um, where is it?
The golden-haired twin travelers. These don't litter other people's space.
Oh, okay, no, hold on. Hold on. Right, so that was one theory that Asmodee herself is trapped in one of these cubes, that Renova just destroyed. Now, the other theory that I came up with is completely different to this, and that is, uh, hold on, let me search up the opening cutscene for Genshin Impact. So, here we go. Yeah.
Your journey ends here.
This is not the cutscene that I saw, okay?
Wait! Give my sister back!
What? This is not the cutscene that I was looking for. What? No. Wrong. Hold on.
So,
It didn't even
what you're
show the
trying to
traveler being
say is that
trapped.
you fell here?
Hold on. Yes, yes, yes. This is the one I was looking for.
Wait! Don't go!
You see that
Give
we
my
get trapped
sister back!
inside one of her cubes, right? Yeah, see? So what I'm thinking is it never explicitly says that we've escaped this what do you call it? This imprisonment of her. What I think is what we're experiencing right now is just a version of what Asmodee has trapped us in. Like the hundreds of, maybe thousands of cubes that we saw in this scene. Hold on, right? So maybe like I'll just say hundreds because this doesn't look like 1,000, but like the hundreds of different spaces that we see here, that gives me the idea that we are trapped in one of these. Like, I don't think I'm 100% right because this is just a theory that I'm throwing out there, but it gives me the idea that we might just be trapped in one of these and not in our own universe, right? Because in the opening cutscene, it never tells us that we escaped from her imprisonment. I don't think so.
Took
Let
away
me
my
see.
sister. How many years ago was it? I don't know. But I intend to find out. When I woke, I was all alone. Until I met you 2 months ago.
Yeah, Paimon really owes you for that. Otherwise, Paimon likely would have drowned. So,
After this, there's nothing to. They don't say anything about the escaping from her captivity or whatever. So, what I think is that we are still trapped in one of those domains of hers, right? So that's one of my theories. The other is obviously that Paimon is Asmodee. Now, how I made that connection is a bit of a stretch, I guess, but I will look at the example of Nahida. How in her story, or in Sumeru's story, it's revealed that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, or however you want to say her name, she uses up all her, or a majority of her power, and she uh destroys, or I guess air quotes, destroys forbidden knowledge from the Irminsul, and she shrinks down to a child form, right? Now, what I think is Asmodee created those millions of spaces, or hundreds of spaces, and it uh exhausted her powers so much that she shrunk down into what now we see as Paimon, and then we are traveling with her shrunken form because, and this is something that happened, Nahida lost all her memories of this event and she thought of herself as a completely new being. So what I think is what happened is similar to what happened with Nahida. Asmodee used up all her powers. I don't know why she would do this, like what the aim behind this was, but I think she used up all her powers. She, expanded all those cubes all over the space that we see in that one scene, and she shrunk down into Paimon and entered one of the quote unquote uh, places or domains, but I'll be calling those domains, I guess. She entered one of those domains, specifically the one in which the traveler, the one we chose, was trapped. And this is a really far-fetched theory because if she shrunk down, how would she control where she fell and all that? That I get that, but this is just a theory, nothing concrete, right? So that's one of my theories, being in Asmodee's domain. Now, the second one of my theories is, hold on.
I already know the price of gazing upon the
So now I'm making a really long stretch, so I'm just putting on my tinfoil hat here. What I'm thinking, I'm drawing a parallel between HSR's storyline and Genshin's storyline, right? If you haven't played through 3.4, which play through it, it's been like a week since it released, I think. I don't know. Play through it. It's a big spoiler ahead, so just skip ahead a bit, right? Um, what I was thinking is, you know how Phynon is supposed to be the world-bearing titan, right? He can take control of all the core flames, all 12 of the core flames. And the Saritsa, the god of cryo, is collecting the Gnosis, right? So what I am thinking is the Saritsa is collecting the Gnosis, just how Phynon is collecting his core flames, or I guess the Chrysos heirs are collecting the core flames, but the Saritsa won't be able to handle the power of seven Gnosis at the same time. So what will happen is us as the traveler, we might be made into the person that will bear the seven Gnosis together. Like, we will be the world-bearing titan of Teyvat. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Because, in my opinion, that would be such a cool storyline. But then again, it would be kind of repetitive and all. But, see, the thing is, Phynon collecting all of the 12 core flames, and he uses it to recreate the world. In here, in Genshin, the Tsaritsa is collecting the seven Gnosis, but what we do see is that she has some kind of way to kill the gods via a machine or something she's building. So what I'm thinking is that that machine she's building, air quotes, will fail eventually. It will fail. And the Saritsa will think that she has to take the Gnosis for herself and use it to target the heavenly principles and all. And she'll fail in that too, because she can't bear the amount of power put upon her by those Gnosis, right? I don't know if a god can have two Gnosis at the same time, because you might say that Nahida had the Electro and Dendronosis at the same time, but no. She never used the Electronoses on herself. She always kept only the Dendronosis. She used the Electronoses to enter the domain of Irminsul, but she never used its powers on her for herself specifically. So what I'm thinking is that we will be made to as a weapon against Celestia or against the heavenly principles or whatever. That's my second theory at least. How Finon collected all those core flames, we will collect the seven gnosis, not like a million gnosis, but like seven gnosis, and we will uh fight against the heavenly principles because uh this is said in one of the quests that the gnosis are supposedly fragments of a descender. So what I'm thinking is uh our what do we call it? Our role as a descender in this world might give us the ability to bear seven gnosis at the same time and use them for fighting against Celestia. That's my second theory. Or wait, no, that's my third theory, I guess. My fourth would be, just give me a sec. Right. Wait, no, this is wrong. No, never mind. Let's just jump to my fifth theory, which is, I guess, just a repetition of my second or first theory. It's that it's it's one of those lines. Hold on, she says here. Ugh, I hated that.
The beer. No. This looks more like Rhine-daughter's doing. Please don't litter other people's spaces with your bizarre.
This is good. This is a good point to pause. I'm sorry I'm pausing so frequently, but it's like I'm jumping around the video to give you guys my theory. If you want to see the actual video yourself, just search up Genshin's channel because I don't think I'm allowed to repost the thing in my description. But anyways, what she says here, please don't litter other people's spaces with your bizarre creations. This gives me the idea that this is a creation of Asmodee, obviously. And she's telling Rhine-daughter to stop messing with this location because it would be just easier to look for Asmodee in one of these places if it was empty and had no life in it. Wow, I am reaching with these theories, but I'm just going with the flow. Bear with
creations.
me here.
Unsurprisingly, all life here has been rendered unstable, tainted by the ruler of space. I have seen enough to know that repeating this experiment would be fruitless.
You seem to wield my power as if it were nothing but a plaything for you. My dear Rhindot is one of the only.
I'm just gonna skip.
Why did you bestow history upon them?
I had to find some way to pass the time, did I not? After all, it's clear that Asmodee is not here.
Right, that line.
After all, it's clear.
It's clear that Asmodee is not here. This gives me the idea that this implies, I believe, that they're looking for Asmodee because she has gone missing, and they have no clue as to where it is, where she is. Because if they're looking for her through each one of her domains, uh it's bound to happen that they will enter our domain or our world and see that um the uh, oh god, they they would see that Paimon is Asmodee in a shrunken form, and they do something to reverse her back to the sustainer of heavenly principles and all that. But yeah, also it's weird that Asmodee got the title of sustainer of heavenly principles. because I think Renova and Nobiria should be known as that, or I guess their whole group together is known as the Sustainer of Heavenly Principles. I guess I don't know. That's a theory for another day. Right now, what I'm thinking is Asmodee is shrunken down into Paimon. That's a theory, and she has lost her memories because of the extreme power dispersion that she did from creating all those domains. Now, another thing is it could be that when she dispersed all her power, she fell into the domain that was created when she trapped us in, uh, in a domain. Now, okay, one more thing. If we aren't stuck in a domain of Asmodee, we might have fallen out of it when she dispersed all that energy and turned into Paimon. This is a very far stretch, right? The timeline is very messy here. Bear with me. What if Paimon fell, shrunk, and fell into Teva at the same time as our imprisonment in one of Asmodee's domains ended? Now, the thing is, in the starting cutscene, the traveler says that he was in Tevat for 2 months before he found Paimon drowning. So yeah, that just, I don't know. I'm just speaking nonsense here. I'm not gonna be doing any research or anything. I'm just throwing out theories in the air and seeing if they'll stick. But yeah, anyways, that's the last of my theories. I'll look through the video again and see if anything clicks for
That
me.
Asmodee is not here.
Well, perhaps you could share your input a little earlier next time. But you're right.
Why does Istarat sound so familiar? Wait, hold on. Don't they like mention who voiced who in this? Ruler of Death Renova, Iden Dawn, Bold Daughter, Ivy Dupler, Ruler of Life Nefarious, Erica Harlicher. Isn't Erica Harlicher okay. Now this might be a coincidence because this is just the English version, right? Let's see the JP version. Oh, hold on, hold on. I accidentally closed the. Hold on, give me a second. No. Oh, where did it disappear to? Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Let me check my viewing history. All right, here we go.
But you're right. There's no.
What we could do is let's check the Japanese voiceover video. Right, the voice actors for okay, they're not mentioned in here. That's not good. Oh no. Hold on. Okay, we don't have a
But you're
source that
right.
can tell us if the Venti's voice actor and the voice actor for Istaroth are same in the Japanese version as well. So this dropped on July 9th, 7-9, and 79 is that atomic number of gold, aka Ryan Batter. It's crazy. Okay, no. Yeah, I find it insane that Venti and Istoroth share the same voice actor. Crazy how everything connects. Yeah, where did this person, I'm not gonna call them a he. Where did they find this? That's crazy. I check other language, every Istoroth VA is Venti VA too. Where? How? The JP version doesn't even have credits for voice actors in it. Does this have credits? No, it doesn't. Where are they finding this stuff? What? Or are they just
But you're
checking with
right.
are they just checking with Venti and cross-checking and matching the voice? Okay, I don't know. But um I don't think the voice actors being the same. If it's just English, then I don't think it's a big deal because I think they might have a shortage of voice actors, honestly. But if it's same across all languages, then it has to do something with how Venti and Ishtaroth are connected. Because I know that Venti has a big, like, time backdrop to him. Like, he has a lot of things to do with time. I think he also imprisoned the god of time somewhere or something like that. I don't remember exactly where I read it, but I did read it somewhere. Something related to that. But yeah, anyways, that's all for today. I'm just gonna upload this unedited or anything. I'm not gonna edit or anything because I am bored out of my mind. I am tired. I want to go to sleep. It's 12:30 it's 22 minutes past midnight. I am going to bed. See you guys tomorrow when I upload my next episode of I guess Clearing Abyss. Or maybe a new theory if I think up of anything before going to bed.
There's
But yeah, I guess I can talk to you guys later. Yeah. See ya. Bye.